All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ebony Johnson. I am the director of the Den Black Film Festival Institute, and we are honored this afternoon to have you join us for our live lunch, but have the wonderful and talented Miss Denise Green joining us from Black Public Media. Denise Green serves as the director of programs. And so, is there anything else, Denise? You want to introduce yourself anymore?
No, that's a perfect introduction. I'm so pleased to be here and talking to the Denton film community. So thank you for having us.
Thank you. We're excited to have you. Yeah, we'll jump in. It's a short lunch break for a lot of people, so a short meeting that we're gonna have. But we know about the 360 Incubator, but can you tell us a little bit about who Black Public Media is and kind of the initiatives that the organization supports?
Sure. Well, Black Public Media has been around for 40 years. We're celebrating 40 years of supporting Black stories in public media. And what we mean by support is through funding initiatives and training programs. We have our Director of Emerging Media, Lisa Osborne, who heads up that support around emerging media projects like VR. I'm the Director of Programs. I head up acquisitions, training, and funding for traditional media. So that's feature length and shorts. So the 360 Incubator falls under our training program. But it's very much linked to our funding initiative called Pitch Black.
Got you. Awesome. All right, let's jump into it. So what is the 360 Incubator? And then can you talk a little bit about successes that have come out of the program?
Oh, absolutely. It's a really fun program for everyone involved, from the filmmakers to the individual mentors and workshop leaders taking part in the program. And what the program is, it's a professional development program. It's a chance for filmmakers that already have a track record in the field, and they want to widen their skills. Oftentimes, we have learned, the program started a number of years ago, just looking at some of the careers, the trajectory of filmmakers in our community, noting that, even after a wonderful first splash, that there's slow pickup to get this second or third film going. So we thought a great professional development incubator program to help accelerate a work in progress would be very beneficial. And so in this program, filmmakers that are selected or projects that are selected are paired with a mentor. And that cohort participates in a series of workshops together. They have regular meetings with their mentor, and those two elements together are to help them tighten up their proposal. And then to add on top of that, we have a pitch practice element to it, a whole month of just pitching your project. So in preparation for Pitch Black, but it will also, all these skill building will help, help you sell your project or move your project along in any arena. But we are preparing all of the fellows, the 10 projects that are selected for the program, to pitch at Pitch Black for production funding.
Awesome. And then, the successes, any?
Oh, sure. So we recently, I sent you a link to one of our newsletters for Charlotte Emmons. She participated in a incubator of, not the past one, but the one previously. And her film is called The Hook. And when she entered, it was called The Salt Box. And she developed a fantastic show centered around Chef Ricky. So it's a show that marries history, culture, and food, a wonderful, fun film that premiered in October. And now it's available to watch at your local station. So if you check your local PBS listings, you can watch The Hook, which is a great series. This newsletter that we have, we did an interview with her, and she gives you an insight of what it's like to be in the incubator as a fellow. And so she really talks about what she gained from it. And Charlotte, like our other fellows, came in with experience. And it's from her interview and talking with her further, she really appreciated the cohort element of it. Just being able to exchange with other filmmakers, with the mentors, and the workshop leaders, and to keep that conversation going. I think past the incubator, I've seen it, especially in this last incubator, which was 2 years ago. The fellows still keep in touch, and they support each other as they're building their projects, forward. So that's one success. And then an earlier example would be Pops. Garland McLaren had a series on fatherhood, and that was distributed by ITVS on their series called Storycast. So there's a number. I'll go out on a limb and say that I would consider all the project successes. I know that sounds like tooting a horn, but the success is in the fact that many of these projects are still in production. I hear a little feedback. I don't know why. But they're advancing, and so they're all very much being propelled forward. So in that respect, I feel like they're all very successful.
Yeah, definitely. I saw in that interview she mentioned Jatobia Gray.
Gary.
Gary. And then so a lot of big names for sure coming out of that.
We are incredibly thankful to have a super talented community. So Jatavia is one that was pulled in for our pitch sessions. Our mentors are people that are filmmakers that are currently doing work. So last year we had Michelle Stevenson, whose film Stateless was just at Tribeca Film Festival and currently at Black Star Film Festival. Yoruba Richin, who has a series on PBS called And She Could Be Next. She's one of the directors in that series. So that's currently out. And she's also been slated to direct a show, a documentary on Breonna Taylor. So that's coming out on Hulu. And these are just names that I'm throwing that are recently in the news. So those are the ones that come up first in mind. But all of our mentors have incredible backgrounds and experiences that reach different types of storytelling, different types of creative approaches. So when the 10 projects are selected, we try to match the project type with the mentor's background. So another benefit of that pairing and the cohort itself is that as a professional, as people that have work experience, professional experience, everybody can lend, voice into the training and support of each other's projects, because everybody has something to share, from their past work. So it all kind of adds up to be very powerful.
I just want to let everybody watching, you are more than welcome to ask Denise questions. I don't want to hog off the space. If there are no questions from anyone, feel free to add them into the comments. I'll be able to see them, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. But my next question was, how is the incubator working during this time of quarantine and social distancing?
Great question. So we're going virtual this year. I don't think it's going to subtract it from the experience at all, because I think it really is about the gem is about the cohort experience. Um, so all of our, usually we get together, have a boot camp experience, which means, just day in, day out, talking about your story. And then we use the rest of the month to do a series of workshops. So that original boot camp experience is going to happen. We call it simply workshops because they're going to be Zoom sessions. It starts off talking about your project and the needs for your project to make it stronger and ready for your pitch. So what does your proposal need? What does your pitch need? Some people might come in needing to strengthen their engagement strategy. Some people might come in needing a stronger reel. So everybody's needs will be different, and that will be mapped out at the beginning. Sandy Ratley I talked about this mentor force, but Sandy Ratley is going to join us as the creative consultant. So she is sort of your first, experience where you start to tease out what you need. We call it a game plan, what you need to do for the incubator. Sandy is she has incredible titles to her name as well, and has worked across the field. So she's such a wealth of information. So after the early workshop experience where you map out your game plan, then you'll go through workshops. Everybody will go through an engagement workshop, a budgeting workshop, distribution, festival strategy workshop. Some people might come in with much more knowledge than another team, but that's fine. It's meant to be a conversation. What you are required to do is participate in the workshops, which are going to be 1 to 2 hours a week. After that workshop phase in January, it's going to be about meeting with your mentor regularly. And we have a minimum of, once a week to do that. Usually, if we were meeting together, all the fellows would come to New York, meaning that the hours that they devote to the incubator is more like full-time hours. But it's not asking any more than what you would be giving to your project already in motion, because everybody's entering with a project that's already in development. So it's working on your film. So of course, as virtual, you'll be able to juggle other things. You won't be in New York, but there will be touch points that you'll be required to take part in.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Okay. We do have an audience question. QT is asking if someone did student project work that was into a festival, does that count towards professional experience?
So professional experience is really, I'll be clear, not student work. But we will, professional experience is film or television projects that have had a major festival or a broadcast a commitment from a station or streaming service. So that would be considered professional. If you haven't quite reached that, maybe you can put somebody else on your team that has that kind of experience. That person, though, would have to be a part of the incubator team. It has to participate in the incubator. Right. Each project can have up to 2 participants in the incubator. So,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. Then kind of leaning into that, what does make an applicant stand out when applying?
Yes. That's a good question, because as an incubator, we're not expecting everything to be polished. Not all the elements that we're asking for in the application are we looking for, top 10. But we are looking for a good story, social issue based. It falls into our category. You can take a look at some of go to our website and see some of the projects that we've supported. It's for the 360 Incubator, we are accepting feature-length docs or shorts, and shorts can be scripted or nonfiction. And so back to your question about your application, we're really looking for a good, strong story and a sense of why you are telling the story or why you are the one to tell this story.
Yeah.
That'd be first and foremost. And then if it's the review process is a 2-tier process. We get professionals in the community to read the applications. That second round of the people that make it to the second round, and to the finalists, they're going to be asked about their willingness for critique and to participate in the incubator. That's going to be important to have a successful experience for yourself and for the other team members.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to workshop your project.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Being open to criticism.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have another question though from QT. I'm gonna put this up on banner. Outreach, distribution, and audience engagement plans. How much detail are you looking for?
As much as you can offer. So again, those particular elements, not everything has to be polished. When you're creating your game plan with your mentor at the beginning of the experience, that might be one area that you want to target. Let's say outreach. This is what I have for outreach. This is what I've thought about outreach. These are the goals. If your project is around a particular social issue, maybe think of some goals that you want for your film if you're looking at your film as a tool for change. But you might not have, that's the Z part, you have the A, and you might not have that middle piece. So you can work that out in the incubator. But just giving what you have so far is a plus, and that's all it's expected.
Got you. Yeah, I guess on the point of wanting professionals to apply, maybe there's some people who haven't reached to that status of the 3-year experience that you guys are looking for, or have had their projects stream or part of public distribution. Are there any resources or advice for filmmakers who are kind of working their way to that level?
Yeah. So our incubator is held every other year. On the alternate years, we do have an open call, and that experience requirement is not there. But we expect strong proposals. But that's an opportunity to apply for production funding without, the incubator part of it. I would also recommend signing up for our newsletter. We announce other open calls from our partners, such as POV and ITVS. They also have production funding available, along with a score of other partners. And so we try to keep our antennas up for those opportunities and put them on our newsletter. So that's what I would suggest.
Got you. Awesome. I have no other questions. I don't know if there are any final comments Denise or anybody out there watching have any other questions that you want to ask. We have the time. We have the wonderful Denise Green live with us here to help you guys out as you're wanting to apply. But I do want to put up your the email address that you can tune our email to the funding@blackpublicmedia.org for any further questions. That will be the place to go. But is there any final? Yeah.
Well, so I'll say when you go to our website, you will see a description of the incubator. It has the schedule, the breakdown that I was talking about in terms of our start date in January, starting with the workshops and the mentoring, which goes through February. In March, it's going to practice. So it's going to be pitch practice. And now, I don't know if people have been attending pitch events. Oh, thank you. Great.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about the best way to pitch funders now. And then in April, when our Pitch Black happens, you'll be prepared for that. So the pitch practice, you had mentioned Jatavia earlier, that we bring in people from the community to sit and listen to pitches. And there's some real feedback that comes there. So whether you've had a couple tries at pitching, this is a chance to really hone your skills and stay light-footed. A little bit about Pitch Black in April. We invite in the room, there's a panel of 3 public media professionals and other professionals that will come and be judges. And then also in the room are other funders, distributors, programmers, like from the World Channel, from POV, ITVS. In the past, we've had BET, BBC. So it's not just public media representative, but other aspects of the industry. And the fellows, given their projects, they can suggest who they might want in the room. And so we try to make that happen or help them make that happen so that it's a really fruitful experience for everyone. So as everyone pitches, there will be 3 projects that are awarded production funding from $50,000 to $150,000. But those other projects will also have the opportunity to follow up with folks that were in the room that have heard their projects. Usually after Pitch Black, there's a number of email exchanges and connections still being made, many weeks after Pitch Black. So it's a really exciting experience and helpful.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Yeah. So
we do have a couple more audience questions. I'm going to pick out Michael. He's asking, does Black public media accept finished projects?
We do. Putting the Incubator and Pitch Black aside, we're curating now for our series called Afropop. And it's distributed by the World Channel. And it's a seasonal, so we usually accept projects in the spring and start reviewing them over the summer. So we're nearing the end of our review for this upcoming season. Yeah. The Afropop shows that we look at can be stories from the diaspora. They can be feature length, they can be shorts. So we welcome those submissions.
Yeah. And another question from QT was, are projects that take place in and out of the U.S. eligible? Are you territories eligible?
That's a great question. So again, as with Afropop, our stories can be anywhere in the world, anywhere the Black people are. We want those stories. You have to be a U.S. citizen to apply for the Incubator. Not for Afropop, our acquisitions, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen for, but for our training programs, because of our funding, you have to be a U.S. citizen. And not everybody on the project, so the applicant has to be a citizen.
Got you. Making sure. Got you. And then can you one time for the audience repeat the website?
Do you have that up? I thought you might have had a pin for that.
Yeah.
But I'll say it. It's easy. www.blackpublicmedia.org.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I do not have a banner. I will write it out.
That's all right.
You could email though at funding@publicmedia.org. So yes, definitely.
Yes. Questions are, if you have there's a FAQ on our website. When you enter in the application, there's another set of FAQs to go through. If that doesn't work, definitely email at funding and we'll get your questions answered. The deadline for applications for the Incubator is September 15th.
Yes.
At the end of the day, midnight Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. Very important.
Yeah.
Let me see if there are any other comments, any other questions. I don't see anything. Stacey, I see your question. Is this, I think it's directed for the film festival, and then yes, we will have content available for January. So I think that was for our end.
Nice.
But, no, I don't think there's anything else. Denise.
That's fine. Well, I want to say thank you. Again, tapping into your community, I'm excited to even introduce Black Public Media to your community of creatives. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Definitely. We are honored to have you on with us this afternoon, and we're so happy to connect with Black Public Media. And I'm excited. Hopefully we have some talent from Texas, from DFW, making their way to you guys. So yeah, thank you again.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I just wanted to say thank you again to Denise and Black Public Media for being with us this afternoon. If you are not a part of our mailing list, make sure that you go to our website. You can sign up at dentonbff.com. I believe there is a contact at the bottom of the website for you to enlist. But thank you again for joining us this afternoon. We do have an upcoming event for a screening for the Weeping season. If you haven't RSVP'd, you can do so right now through Eventbrite, and we'll have a community conversation about the work in progress of that film on Friday. So thank you again, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you later.